is Veena from pancakes, the channel that's about baking and much more. Here's where you'll find quick and tasty recipes for new cooks and those with less time to spend in the kitchen. Okay then, let's get cracking with today's recipe. Welcome back. After showing you how to make soft and tasty polle, I thought I'd show you how to make delicious Goan Koiloreo. I love these. They're thicker than polle and you can feel the pieces of finely chopped or grated coconut when you bite into them. So now let's go ahead and make Koiloreo right here at pancakes. To make Koilodeo, we'll need raw rice, grated coconut, a few finely sliced pieces of coconut, this is optional, and also salt, sugar and water. And for the coconut-jaggery syrup with which Koilodeo are often enjoyed, you'll need jaggery, either palm or cane jaggery, water, coconut milk and salt. We'll start with the raw rice. Use any variety of rice. This is 3/4 of a cup of rice that I had washed a couple of times and soaked in water overnight. The rice should be soaked for at least 3 hours. I'm using regular white rice. You could use the Goa unpolished rice if you want to. Let's drain the rice. Rinse it once with fresh water and drain it again. Now we need half a cup of grated coconut for this recipe and around 2 tablespoons of finely sliced coconut pieces. But I forgot to slice a few pieces before grating the coconut. So here's what I'm going to do. We'll grind a 1/4 cup of the grated coconut along with the rice and add the remaining 1/4 cup directly to the batter. So now let's transfer the rice to this mixer jar. And to it, I'll add just a 1/4 cup of grated coconut. We'll grind this mix coarsely with half a cup of water. Here's our batter. Unlike for polle, we don't need a fine and smooth batter for Koiloreo. This batter needs to be slightly coarse, but not too coarse. The rice in the batter should feel like grains of fine rava or semolina. I'll now rinse the mixer jar with around 2 tablespoons of water and add that to the batter. Now let's mix in 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt and 3 tablespoons of sugar. Next, we'll mix in the remaining 1/4 cup of grated coconut. Let's stir everything. Cover the batter and then let it rest for an hour. In the meanwhile, let's make the coconut-jaggery syrup. This is a 1/4 cup of grated cane jaggery. You could use palm jaggery instead. To this, let's add 1 tablespoon of water and heat the mix on medium heat. After the jaggery mix came to a boil, I let it simmer on low heat for another 2 minutes. Now let's add half a cup of coconut milk to it and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Let's give it a stir and bring this syrup to a boil. Here's the boiled syrup. You could add some ground cardamom to it, but that's optional. If you use palm jaggery, the syrup will have a darker brown color. Okay, here's our Koilodeo batter. It's not as smooth as the batter for polle, and it's also thicker than the polle batter, which, if you remember, had a thin, flowing consistency. My non-stick pan has been heating up on medium-high heat and is now hot enough to make our Koiloreo. I'll drizzle a few drops of oil on it, spread it around with a paper napkin, and then pour around 3 ladles of batter in the center of the pan. Let's spread it a little to a diameter of around 6 inches. If you're going to use finely sliced pieces of coconut in this recipe, now's the time to scatter a few across the top of the koilodi or pancake. After letting it cook for around 30 seconds, I'll cover the pan, reduce the heat to low, and let the pancake cook for around 1.5 to 2 minutes till the top is cooked and doesn't have any wet patches. Just make sure it has cooked completely, because like Polle, Koilodeo too are cooked only on one side. Let's take this one off onto a thali. Let's make another one. Now making Polle might need a little practice, but believe me, when it comes to Koilodeo, you'll get them right from the first time you make them. I'll now take this one too off the pan. I was able to make 4 Koilodeo with the batter we prepared. The fourth and last one turned out a little larger because I used all the remaining batter to make it. Koilodeo are soft but slightly thicker and more filling than Polle. You could have these Goan style rice and coconut pancakes by spooning a little of the syrup on each one. Or you could pour a little syrup into a small bowl, break off a piece of the pancake and drop it into the bowl, and then have each piece with a little of the syrup. Also, like I mentioned earlier on, you can enjoy the Koilodeo by themselves without the syrup. The choice is yours. But whether with or without the coconut-jaggery syrup, Koilodeo are simply delicious. And as you've just seen, easy peasy to make. You can't go wrong with making them. So do relish these Goan Koiloreo by giving my recipe a shot. Hope you enjoyed today's video and do stop by again for yet another quick and tasty recipe. Till then, take care, happy cooking!